boys, today's video is kind of a build, but more or less just pointing some attention to some exotic gauntlets on the Warlock class, and the subclass that has actually paired the best here with it. Karnstein Armlets. These are exotic Warlock gauntlets that grants us the exotic perk Vampire's Caress. Now in this sandbox with so many people using shotguns, I was having a difficult time activating this perk properly. Sure, I can activate it from time to time, but it just wasn't that ease of use that I was hoping for until today. Fellas, we are going to be combining the melee Atomic Breach, which is the melee there on the Nova Warp tree, with these exotic gauntlets. So I present to you Atomic Caress. Huh? Y'all like it? I thought that was such a good name. Now let's talk about what makes this such a nasty combination. Again, this is just one exotic working so well with arguably the best subclass in the game. First up, the exotic perk Vampire's Caress. Melee kills instantly restore a large amount of health and continue to restore health afterwards for a short duration of time. Now the melee of choice, Atomic Breach. This melee ability hits at an extended range, and it also creates a void explosion. Now I actually haven't tested what that extension is on that range. I was mainly focused on the void explosion. So the initial melee damage does 100, but the void explosion does 65. So 165 damage, which is a lot of damage. What makes this so good, like what makes it perfect, is the fact that that void explosion can proc Vampire's Caress. So if you shoot a single body shot, say you got a hand cannon or even a sidearm, and you land a body shot, follow it up with a melee. Even if that melee doesn't kill them, the void explosion, if that kills them, Vampire's Caress will activate. And it should easily kill them. I mean, you're doing 165 damage with a single melee swipe. Now the benefit of this is for me in certain situations, if I'm getting shotgun rushed and all I have is a hand cannon. This is probably going to make some people remember back in Destiny 1, the hand cannon striker melee combo on our Titan class. Very similar situation. The only difference is it doesn't activate the melee kill instantly, right? Like there is a delay for that void explosion. But if somebody's rushing you with a shotgun and they miss and you land a single hand cannon shot and a melee, you're going to push them away because that's the melee's ability, right? So you're going to push them outside of shotgun range. And pretty much you can walk away from the gunfight because that void explosion is about to take effect. It's about to count as a melee kill. And Vampire's Caress is now going to be activated. Now this perk, Vampire's Caress, this does not mean you have Devour. Again, after you get the initial health bump, you're just going to get consistent health recovery for about 8 to 10 seconds. I think somewhere around that time frame. I actually use these gauntlets the most in PvE whenever I was really under level. But I think where it really has a place is actually in competitive. Somebody rushes you in a spot or in a cubby, you don't have time to get your shotgun out, you land a hand cannon shot, follow it up with a melee, you now have Vampire's Caress activated, and now you have 8 to 10 seconds to consistently be engaged with your team in those gunfights. Now I am rocking 3 impact mods, which definitely helps, but the subclass itself already synergizes so well. A single handheld supernova will give you back half your melee all on its own, because on throwing that handheld supernova, you gain the perk Dark Matter. Void ability kills grant health, melee, grenade, and class ability energy. So despite me having some impact mods on, you really don't need it if you're going to get a handheld supernova kill. So not a bad exotic, guys. Again, to me, this exotic has always been utilized by me in PvE. I think it does have a place in competitive, just because you don't think you need it until you actually need it, right? So to me, think of this as adding like a subpar version of Devour to Nova Warp. And you think Nova Warp's scary. It's on a whole nother level if you activate Vampire's Caress on Karnstein and then push with your Nova Warp super. Well, fellas, that is Atomic Caress. A very good loadout here to synergize with Nova Warp. I didn't even realize it was as good as it was. Now in the comments below, if anyone's got any build ideas, I'm all ears. I love hearing what you guys are using. And again, I like things that directly synergize with each other. So feel free to let me know in the comments below. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.